What's the best way to respond to, I have a boyfriend, if you were just being friendly or asking a question? Doesn't happen to me a lot. But when it does, I just stand there and stare at them confused. What's the best way to respond if you weren't flirting or you were just sending the "what's the homework" text?
Is he single? I'm proud of you. I knew you could do it. Now, about that assignment.
I'm married, so I flash the wedding ring and say, I have a wife. That means I outrank you.
Congratulations. That still doesn't change the fact that I genuinely need to know what teammate is.
Give him my heartfelt condolences. But that's not what he asked for.
YEHINO. Tell him he had a good time last night. And I'm on again tomorrow if he is.
I had a goldfish when I was 12.
What?
Oh, sorry, I thought we were saying things that didn't matter.
I have a boyfriend.
Who?
Boyfriend's name.
Oh, I know that guy. Nice guy. But I thought he was dating. Insert another girl's name. At least that's what he told me.
I have a really nice kitchen faucet. If we are listing things that don't matter.
I'm sure your mom is relieved. But can you answer my question?
Awesome. It's nice to not be alone for the holidays. So where are the bathrooms?
I know, but I got tired of him.
That's your problem. I just wanted to know about homework.
That's cool. Statistically, everyone should have at least one person who cares for them.
Well, good for you. Don't forget to feed and water him daily.
Great. I'll dance at your wedding. Back to my original question.
And I'm married. What does that have to do with the price of tea in China?
He can come too. I had him first.
How long have you had that problem?
You say good for you. What does he do? I have a boyfriend.
Oh, I have a level 43 wizard. That is also a great support character. But problem is, he is weak around bodies of water.
What?
Sorry, I thought we were answering questions that weren't asked.
Madame, it was not my intent to pull le ASE. I am in no way calling Said a boyfriend to challenge. I do admit my devilish charm is such a powerful musk, that often those I converse with believe my debonair demeanor to be just for them. But it is, in point of fact, a gift to the entire world.
I've encountered that exactly once. Jogging on a bike path around a lake. A lady pulled her phone out of her pocket. Did something real quick and put it back. She didn't notice the $20 that came out with it and she dropped it. She started jogging again. I stopped, picked up the $20, held it up for her to see and called out to her, "Excuse me. You." I didn't move towards her or anything. She cut me off with, "Fork off. I have a boyfriend," without even turning to look in my direction. I kept the $20 and used it for lunch.
It's not often you actually get to collect the acehole tax, so well done.
Yells back at her, "I bet you $20 you'll regret this later." And jog into the sunset.
Had a fun situation at work with a customer one time. Me. Okay, so you're going to need to drive it a bit to get the monitors to reset. Once they reset, I'll be able to run your emissions and get you squared away. Do you have plans tonight?
I'm in a relationship.
Right. Do you have plans tonight to drive your car? I have an appointment available tomorrow morning.
Oh, I thought you were asking me out.
I wasn't. I'm just doing my job.
You don't have to be an asshole about it. I mean, I wouldn't have said no.
There are a lot of problems with this conversation. Does 10 a.m. work for you tomorrow? To have your car finished, I mean.
If you'll excuse me, I have to be any place that's not right here.
Now if you'll excuse me, I have to return some videotapes.
Please be kind. Rewind.
If she wasn't going to say no, why the fork did she interrupt you and say she was in a relationship?
What? Don't you know you're supposed to persist when they play hard to get?
I don't know, but when I was younger I worked in a mall and saw the best one I've ever seen. Girl is sitting near another guy. It's not exactly clear if they are together, but she's got her phone out and is looking at it. Random guy, "Excuse me. My phone died. Do you know what time it?" Girl, "I have a boyfriend." As she scoots closer to the guy next to her. Random guy, "Oh my bad miss." Turns to boyfriend, "Hey man. Your girl can't read a digital clock. That's a red flag, bro. You know what time it is. Boyfriend, 4 o'clock. Random guy, damn. And all the preschools are closed now. Guess she'll have to wait until tomorrow. Then he ran to catch the bus.
The one time this happened to me in person, I went with, "Oh, sorry to bother you," and returned to my truck to watch her pump a full tank of diesel into her gas-powered SUV.
I got this a lot in college. I would just be sitting next to some girl and she would suddenly say, "I have a boyfriend." Did she read my mind or something? Here is the correct answer. Based on what I saw happen to a friend of mine when we were university students. And he saw another student forget her wallet at a table in the library. He ran up to her, holding her wallet out in front of him saying, "Excuse me, you dropped your wallet."
I have a boyfriend.
"No, you dropped your wallet," while holding her wallet out directly in front of her.
I have a boyfriend, leave me alone.
"Do you want your wallet back or not?" Some random dude playing White Knight.
"Hey dude, she said to leave her alone."
He walked away and tossed the wallet on top of one of the bookshelves.
Fuck that, take the wallet, steal her identity, then her boyfriend, bring the wallet back and correct her. She doesn't have a boyfriend, you do.
I remember back in my first year in college I went to this house party and only knew one person there, Ken. And at some point during the drunken shenanigans I lost him. I ended up going up to this chick who I knew was in one of Ken's classes and asked her if she had seen him around. She responded with, I have a boyfriend. So I just said, "Okay, can you ask your boyfriend if he's seen Ken?" Then she said no and walked away.
Drunken.
I think maybe she thought you were trying to set her up with Ken. That's the maximally suggestive way I can interpret your actions.
So are you saying that he has the notes for last week's lecture, or?
Oh, so that's his purse on top of the car.
So you're saying that's his celery stuck in your teeth.
Oh, so he might want to go on a date with me.
So this is his $20 that fell out of your purse, or?
I usually say, "Me too," even if I'm single. It usually gets a pretty funny reaction.
Have done this. Will do again. Never fails to get a laugh. The trick is to keep talking after you said it like nothing happened.
Sai shudjon saplex zem troatable after saying it. Got it. Arm rating this down.
I wish I would have had your interpretation of this. Sadly, I think I'm going to jail.
Little jail never hurt anybody.
Hybrid side of going to jail. You'll probably have a boyfriend now too.
I'm seeing nothing but perks here.
Jail don't hurt people. People hurt people. Also gun something.
Clearly what you're trying to say is that they need more guns in jails.
My point exactly. With great firepower comes great jails or something.
This is the best answer. It eases tension and let them know you're not a threat. It may be offensive for somebody to assume your intentions, but most women are just trying to protect themselves when they say something like this. Try to understand the amount of harassment women face on a daily basis and how dangerous it can be for them. Sometimes, the safest thing to do is to prepare for the worst and shut it down immediately.
Yeah, a man asked me for directions from his car once and I was polite and gave directions. Then he followed me in his car all the way home trying to have a conversation. And I thought I was going to die or get raped or get robbed and assaulted that night. Because why else would a stranger follow me home from a car? Had to turn around, go up to him from a safe distance and yell that I have a forking boyfriend. I don't. He drove away after that. This is only one of many instances. So you bet your ace I shut things down for my own safety and don't oblige to keep the mood pleasant.
One of the joys of aging, this shoe stops happening to you.
One of the worst parts about this is most of it happens when you're a minor.
I wish that were true. It slows down a lot, but I've still had issues every so often.
I'm 60, and I look 60. I've become invisible.
One man's inconvenience is another woman's survival skill.
Excuse me.
I have a boyfriend.
Do you block the doors at his place too?
Shove your way through. When she inevitably says, "What the fork was that for?" say, "I have a boyfriend."
That's dope, but that's not what I'm asking.
For some reason this cracked me up. I think this is the best answer. Like you're celebrating for a quick second. Sick. Congrats. Anyway, about those directions. Had this happened to me just the other day. Was on a trip and my phone died. Stopped at a gas station and bought a drink. Then went to ask the sales clerk which way to 77. She let me get 2 words out before saying, "I'm sorry, but I already have a boyfriend." Took me a second to register. Caught me very unaware as that was the last thing on my mind. Then I just told her, "Okay, I wasn't hitting on you. Just want to know the way to 77. She turned red and her coworker who was off to the side started laughing at her. Made me kinda feel a little bad.
This almost sounds like she and the coworker had a dare to make her say that to the next customer that talked to her. Or something like that.
My guess is she gets asked out all the time and it's just a reaction at this point.
Take it from a dude that worked at a gas station with several young women employed there when I say that it happens more than people realize. It's a daily occurrence. A couple of the girls definitely took advantage of it since they got tips and free scratch tickets on a near daily basis. But some of the others were always complaining about it.
Dude, I worked at a place where we had a customer service or front desk girl. I heard so much creepy shoo I couldn't believe it. I love watching you walk back to your desk, local business owner who came almost daily. Had a wife, some random dude, you smell nice. Town employee who was one of the supervisors. The guys told me a cute young girl started working here, so I decided to come down and see for myself. Are you single, as they literally back her into a corner. One creep who she would time it to always run to take lunch. And he went around the building to where she was eating in her car to knock on her window. She had to text me to come outside to make an excuse to get her away from him. And much, much more. I was in shock. And it is a daily occurrence. Like holy shoo. Guys just be acting like this to people working behind a counter. What the fork are they doing at a bar to someone who had a few drinks?
Reminds me of my supervisor when I worked at Target in my early 20s. She was a very attractive, personable and charismatic woman that damn near every guy had a crush on. Me included admittedly, but unfortunately, that also drew the attention of a lot of creeps. There was some police officer that would occasionally show up at the store wearing shorts and riding a bicycle. And sometimes he would even ride it inside the store, which I always thought was forking weird. She saw him from afar one time and was like, "Oh God. I need to hide." I asked her what was wrong and she said the cop was one of her stalkers. She told me he would try to talk to her during her lunch breaks all the time. So she decided to get in her car and drive to the next parking lot over to eat her lunch in peace. And he actually followed her there in his police car, got out and walked up to her window to try and talk to her. A forking cop. Like, how could you ever feel safe when even police officers are stalking you? Not to mention that they're not the only ones stalking you. The amount of stress must have been overwhelming. She also ran into problems with a cashier working there. Some 40-something-year-old obese dude who was, well, just an unfortunate guy. I don't think he was an outright predator or a creep, but he clearly didn't understand boundaries or how to interact with the opposite sex, and it made her super uncomfortable. I had to escort her to her car a few times because she didn't want to get cornered by him or any of her other admirers. I felt so bad for her. She was such a nice person that didn't deserve any of it. She ended up relocating to a store in another part of town just to get away from it all. That was the last time I saw her though. Hopefully she met a good guy and doesn't feel vulnerable all the time anymore.
All the commenters getting insulted and getting passive-aggressive should read your comment. Displays one of the reasons why so many women are proactive about shutting down strangers before the potential harassment can even start. And why so many are so wary. Then you have others just completely ignoring the women's point of view and experiences and justifying why saying, "I have a boyfriend," is wrong or rude or etc. Just shows a complete lack of empathy and naivety and ignorance of how bad things can be, as illustrated by your comment. Just because you don't get harassed daily by strange men doesn't mean it doesn't happen. Instead of being insulted by women instantly shutting down interactions with men they don't know well. Maybe you all should be angry at the creeps and disgusting excuses of human beings who ruin it for everyone, huh?
Right. Like Shu, I'd develop a complex if I had to deal with it. Having to second guess every interaction because I don't know what their intentions are. After getting burned by guys acting normal like friends, then they're like, "You won't fork me. All this being your friend BS was pointless." Afraid that any guy you talk to will suddenly just text you one day like, "Here's my pen. What do you think?" I don't know, man. People can scroll on this site and see screenshots of creepy DMS and Tinder messages and stuff, and also read women talking about their experiences but then turn around and be oblivious when they get shot down. Sure, you're a nice guy, but you're also not the main character. Edit. Also now realize that this isn't just adults. They had to deal with teenage boys being super horny and pushy, so by the time they're adults, damage is done. I remember my sister at 15 telling me how her boyfriend was all like, "Boo-hoo, I'm gonna kill myself." Shoo, I myself am guilty of being a weirdo at times when I was young, and I look back and cringe. But at least I grew up.
Nah, she deserved it. But she's probably used to being hit on. Her ego needed taking down a notch.
Weird that you as a woman yourself are assuming women whose knee-jerk reaction to men approaching them is, "Sorry, I have a boyfriend," have an ego problem. Women who work in any type of customer service, or women in general, are used to men inappropriately hitting on them at work or even harassing them. It's almost instinct to react this way.
It's still obnoxious and annoying behavior when women do it before you can even finish talking or ask your question. I get saying it as a lie if they are in fact hitting on you. And you need a good way to make them stop. But I automatically lose a lot of respect for any woman that responds with, "I have a boyfriend," to nothing other than, "Excuse me.